Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session, the Eclypsium Product Roadmap. My name is Melissa Russell, and I will be the host and moderator for today's session. Before we begin, just a couple of housekeeping items. This might be a little bit quicker session because it is a continuing series of our product roadmap. We had one back in March. If you didn't get a chance to see it, let us know. But we will be setting up aside a few minutes for Q&A if we have questions. So if you do have questions, please feel free to go ahead and enter them into the Q&A chat box, and we'll take a look at them towards the end. At this time, I'd like to go ahead and introduce our speakers. Paz, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and Joe?
Thank you very much, Melissa. So as Melissa said, I'm Paz Andrade. I am a product manager here at Eclypsium. So before jumping in, some legal disclaimers. So we're going to be talking here about future and where we're going to be working. So this is just for customer information. So before screenshotting or sharing or distributing anything here, please make sure you had written consent from Eclypsium. And with this said, let's jump in. So as I was saying I am Paz Andrade, and I am from Argentina. And Argentinians, we have a lot of obsessions. One of them is football. And for the last years, we have been obsessed with World Cups and winning World Cups. And we have been suffering that a lot until 2022, when everything changed, when we get our precious third and beautiful star and our third World Cup. And you may be thinking what football and World Cups have to do with the webinar. And it's because now we changed the other obsession and we're obsessed with number 3. And you're going to see that the number is going to be with us along all the webinar with us. So let's get started. So shockingly, our agenda items are 3. We're going to be talking of what we've done, what we're doing, and what we're going to do. Some of you participated on our last webinar that was run by Corey, our CPO. And he presented to you what we're going to be working on our last release, that was the version 3.6 of our platform. This is going to be available for all of you today on the Eclypsium product. So let me share with you the highlights of what we have been working. One of our most important capabilities that was developed for our other product manager that is here present, Joe, and our engineering team, is what we call the toolbox. This is one of the most important capabilities because you can now upload any kind of device and any component to Eclypsium, store it, and manage it from here. This provides you the ability to not only secure any device type that Eclypsium analyzes with the sensors like client PCs, network devices, and servers, but also any other type of assets or device that you consider critical or important to be secure. So as you may see in this graph, you can choose any type of device and scan it with any type of security tool you may find in the wild that is important for you to be scanned and find vulnerabilities for those devices, and then upload those results into Eclypsium and orchestrate and manage those devices through our UI and see those results. This leads me to the next feature that is attached to the toolbox, because this is not the end of that feature. As I can show you here, you are seeing an EMBA report that this was downloaded from our Eclypsium platform. This is how you can orchestrate your analysis reports. This was uploaded with the device results and was stored in Eclypsium, and this can be shared with any users that are Eclypsium's users, and can be downloaded from here. And you can see any of your devices, vulnerabilities, threats, and secure them through our platform. So as you all may know, Eclypsium has a partnership with Intel, and where we're working together on implementing transparent supply chain feature as an ongoing effort of not only continue expanding our support with Intel, but also start supporting AI hardware and infrastructure. We add coverage for Intel Core Ultra processor component. These components come with a neural processing unit known as NPU that helps to accelerate an AI-related tasks. And we are not only expanding coverage for components, but we are also expanding coverage related to threats and CVEs and any kind of flaws that can maintain your devices and components secure. So we expanded coverage on threats and implants like exit backdoor, command injection in Global Protect, CISO as a liner dance implant. These are threats that are mostly found in network devices. and also Orbit, and many, many more CVEs and vulnerabilities that our research team has been working to continue updating our coverage in our platform. So, as some of you may know, we participate on RSA this year, and some of the features that we present on RSA was supporting LLM AI models. If some of you don't know, LLM is large language models. We are adding support to these LLM models in our other product that is called Guide. This support is showing which type of models are more secure than others for our users in order to assure them or give them more evidence which of them are more secure in order to implement them to their systems or to work with them. You can see that we implement a supply chain score, we verify them, and we provide you a couple of details of the model that will give you enough information to decide if this model is enough secure to work with. And as I was telling you before, we participate this year in May in the RSA conference. We not only have a stand that was very popular because of the arcade game that we present, but also our CEO Yuri was presenting with one of our customers, DigitalOcean, a case study about establishing and maintaining device trust. If any of you were present on the conference, you can get into the conference website and you can see the recording of that presentation. And also, we took that conference to present one of our research discovering of the F5 vulnerabilities. But this was everything that we have done, or some of the things that we have done until the moment that you will see present on your platform today. But let's talk of what we are currently doing on our current release, that is 3.7. On our last webinar, Corey presented to you how we work inside Eclypsium. We have shockingly 3 stages. We plan, we build, and we launch. Currently, we are on the last sprint of our build before launching our version 3.7 of the product. So let me share with you what we are currently working. So you will see here that we have 4 themes. On the last thing, what we call platform initiatives, is something that is always ongoing and something we are always working. Is our base for our company and for our platform. The main 3 things and the main 3 buckets we are working during the 3rd Q of the year is infrastructure, AI, and OT, extensible assessment and analysis, illuminate, educate, and remediate. So I'm not going to go through all the slide and read everything here, but I'm just going to highlight some of the biggest points here that we're going to be working. So for example, some of the most important things that we're going to be tackling this release will be covering the firmware for AMSN 3.4, extending the networking devices for Dell. We're going to be working on enhancements to analysis performance to make them quicker and have better performance for our customers. We're going to continue extending our toolbox also. We're working on the evidence analysis. This means that when you get the analysis from Eclypsium, you're just not going to get the results, but you are also going to get the why of those results. We're also working on the email report distribution and also extending the CGIS controls for our compliance policies. Then also we have the candidates for the 3.8 version that we're going to be working for the end of the 3rd Q of this year. We're going to be working on integrating also the guide that I was showing you before, where we support the LLMs models and our platform. We're also going to be expanding our network devices coverage. I'm going to show you more on the next slide about this. We're going also to be working on custom components, and we're going to expand also our support to compliance policies, for example, for the financial compliance policies or the credential union compliance policies. Also in platform initiatives, as I will highlight on the continuous slides, we're going to continue working on content updates to provide more coverage around threats and vulnerabilities, but also we're going to be working on more UI consistency and be a more UI-friendly platform to you. So what we're going to do on the future, which is the roadmap, which are the events, and what are the plans that we're going to be working on. One of the events that we're going to participate in on the future is going to be Black Hat in August. We're going to be presenting and giving some talks there. And about roadmaps and plans, let me share what we're going to be doing. Obviously, again, I was telling you that we're obsessed with number 3, so we are going to be working in 3 themes that we think are really important on coverage, flexibility, and usability. For coverage, we're going to be working on advanced detections like BLT, Node, and Func, and Make Self. We're also going to expand to new components and start supporting new firmwares for Intel, ARM, and OpenBMC. And as I was telling you before, we're going to start supporting new network devices coverage for FortiGate, Palo Alto, and Juniper. And as I was telling you also before, we're going to start extending the compliance policies we have today on the platform to the financials, the CSMs, and the credit union policies. For flexibility, we're going to extend our API data mapping. Also, as I was saying before, our sensor and platform analysis extensibility and working on the performance of the sensor and platform analysis also is a very important point for us and a priority. We're working on the sensor expansion and API-based sensors. We're working on creating custom components and map external data. And for usability, we're continually working on the UI and the workflow enhancements to make the platform easy to use and better for the user. We're working on reporting APIs and exports. We're working on level of indicators to have more shades of grades between when an IOC is found. A transparent supply chain risk score for the assets and the devices, to be transparent for the user and not just have the vulnerabilities and the threats that are found on the device, but also have a score that will easily report to the user, which is the risk of that device. And we are going to be working on remediation of the integrations and analysis evidence. With all that said, for us, the customers are the most important part of all this process. We believe that the customer should be part of all the development process of all these features. So we want to encourage you to be part of all this process. We have this customer sponsored program. So if you find any feature that we talked or that you find interesting that we're going to be working on, please contact us or contact your customer success manager, and feel free to jump in and work with us. We have an early access program where you can get early access to any of these features and you can provide us feedback so we can make sure we build the features that you need. That's all I have for you to present today. We can move to the QA question if it's any. Let me take a look. We have one. So how are you validating the integrity of LLM models? So this was Dominique. So thank you, Dominique, first of all. So this was a POC that we built for RSA. So our data team took into account from where the model was coming from and took into account also a lot of the information of the details of the models. And it was taken into account also from that information, depending if the model has set up in some way or another, it was considered that the model was more secure or insecure. I can get for you how that calculation was done, and I can share it with you after this webinar.
So we did have a question come up during the session because I did mention that we had a previous session back in March. If you are interested in getting a link to the recording, please just go ahead and reply back. I think all of you got an invite from me. I'm Melissa. And we can make sure that we get a link to you from the previous recording. At this time, I'm not seeing any additional questions. If you do have some, please feel free to go ahead and put them into the Q&A box. But the purpose of these webinars is just to keep everybody updated as we do our ongoing progression with our roadmap. The next session is likely going to be in early fall. So if you are interested, just keep your eyes open. And at this time, I'd like to go ahead and thank both Paz and Joe. I realize this is kind of a quick hit type of webinar, so hopefully you got something out of this. And we hope to see you on our next webinar. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Paz and Joe.
Thank you.